Hi YouTube, I'm back as promised. I told you guys that I would do part 2 of Hush Girl. So let me just do that real quick before I knock out. I know in the first video I left some things out that I wanted to go over, and then I just wanted to again let you guys know about the outcome of what happened. So the things that I left out in the part 1 video, my mom, I wanted to say that my mom left Arkansas twice. And when we came back, we came back from California. My uncle came up to California when I was a little girl. He stayed with us briefly. He did touch me and things like that. And then we went back to Arkansas, and he eventually came back to Arkansas. And I would always, when I would tell my story, I would tell people it felt like he was following me. It felt like he was following me. Felt like he was following us. And so when we went back, when I went back, he started having, making me do the oral sex every time. Whenever he can get around us, and he was safe. And, I believe he just knew my mom drank and that my dad was in and out of prison. So we really didn't have, men or anybody in our life like that around us. So he followed us back to Arkansas. Everywhere we go, he go. And proceeded to, again, make me perform oral sex, and he would penetrate me. Whether it went in all the way, I was just a child, so it was painful. It was a very painful situation. That's all that I know. I can't say if it fully went in. I couldn't say if it went in halfway. All I know is that it was a painful situation. And so that's what I had left out. And the reason why I call it rape is because I was a child. And a lot of times, he forced himself on me. He forced himself, It wasn't no me saying no. I couldn't say no, It was do this, very aggressively. So, and someone explained to me that, when you touch somebody, that's molestation. That's molestation. But when it goes to a sexual situation, oral sex, any type of penetration, then and on a child that can't say no, that doesn't have a voice, it becomes rape. And so that's why I tell people that I was not only molested, but I am a victim of rape. And so, yeah, I went through that. And so part 2 of the scenario, after we went to the police station, and I told the police what had happened to me, and the police said, "You want to press charges?" I said, "Yes." So we went to arrest him. He was arrested, but not even 3 hours after he was arrested, he was bailed out by my mom's family. And I started to act up at home. I started to rebel. And I come from a Christian home. Even though my mom was doing what she was doing, we was raised up in the church. And we was raised up to be good kids. And, kids who listen. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. We was raised up to be good kids. So, but I began to rebel. I felt like I told it, and everybody walked away. And everybody walked away. I'm 16. family members came by, and not to show their support, they came by to say, oh, don't press charges on him. Mom would turn over in her grave, which was my mom's mom. Or don't press charges on him. Why they wait so long to tell somebody? So that's what I got from them. I would say that after I told things, as I became an adult and had children, things started affecting me. I did see my uncle after I had told on him. I seen him some time later. He was driving the city bus, and he had asked me. I got on his bus, and he was going on break. I got off his bus, and he was going on break, and I think I was about 18. And he said, Jackie, I just want to know if, he said, I want to let you know I apologize for what I did to you, and I want to know if you'll forgive me. Would you forgive me? You don't have to forgive me now, but I pray one day you forgive me. And I said, I forgive you. I said, I forgive you. He said, you do? He was shocked. I said, yeah, I forgive you. I'm just glad it's over with. I said, but I forgive you, and I thank you for apologizing to me. And it was fine from there. I could sit in the same room with him. I could talk to him. I could give him a hug when I see him, because I was just glad it was over. And I truly, genuinely forgive him. To this day, I forgive him for what he did to me. As I became an older adult, and like I said, I had my children, I didn't have any problems. And then I started realizing, wait a minute, I have had problems. I have had issues. I have had things in my life that happened, and that I couldn't quite understand as far as relationship with men. I don't trust men. I haven't been with a lot of men. That's for sure. But I've been with good men. Nothing but great men. 3 to be exact. And in my life, and I'm sure everybody knows why, but great, good men. It was just me trying to deal, not feeling safe with men, not feeling secure, not being insecure, and just not knowing how to act around a man, not sure of what he wanted from me. I just always thought that they just wanted sex. That's all. I just thought that they just wanted sex. That's all they want from me. And no matter how much they loved me or cared for me or made sure that I was okay, I just felt like that's all you want. And yeah. So just a lot of issues, a lot of insecurities. I had so many insecurities. And I just wanted to be loved, but I didn't want to accept love. And I went to counseling, and I've been to counseling. And I've had, like I said, a lot of issues. Thank God it wasn't drugs or alcohol. I have no issues, thank God, with drugs and alcohol. I am addicted to shopping, but other than that, and working. But other than that, I have no addictions. But I I realize I have a problem. And I said before 2019 hit, I need to address the problems that I have so that I can move on. And I want to address my family. I want to address the Horn family. I sure do. I want to address the Horn family. And this is not coming from anger or malice or just trying to hurt somebody. I just need to address the Horn family. I need to say this. After I told about my uncle, and what I realized as of 2018, what I realized is that not one soul, not one single soul ever approached me, and as on behalf of my mom, on behalf of what their brother did to me, on behalf of their grandparents who are no longer, their parents who are no longer with us today, rest their soul. But even so, my mom, and I've had to speak with her about this as well. Nobody addressed what this man did to my body and to me. Nobody addressed that. Nobody. It made me, as of this year, at the age that I am, 41, I realized where my anger, where my distrust and dislike for men and just for people in general, sometimes some people, came from. And it's just, I never got that acknowledgement. I was never acknowledged. I was never, showed any compassion, any care, any concern about what this man did to me. And it was as if I had said something wrong. It was as if I talked too much. It was just as if I needed to hush, girl. It made me, I'm glad and I thank God for giving me this realization to where all this built up in me came from. Just not getting acknowledged from my family. Not thinking I was worthy. Not thinking I was enough. Not thinking I was good enough. I just don't understand why nobody ever said anything to us or to me. Like I said, including my mom. Nobody ever asked us the details of what happened to us. It was just that he touched us and we called the police. Nobody never asked what age it started at. Nobody never asked what he did to us. Did he just touch you nobody apologized. Oh, well, some probably think, well, maybe just your mom needs to apologize. We are supposed to be this quote-unquote family. Family is supposed to stick together, good and bad, and you come together. But this didn't happen. It didn't happen. Like I said, not even with my mom. It just didn't happen. We told and it was dead. The situation was dead. Nobody spoke on it. Nobody said anything else, But I've been through 3 surgeries. And nobody, people think, oh, she just got a bad stomach, My uterus was turned upside down. They didn't know why my uterus was upside down. My doctors would always say, if anybody ever touched you or that, no, everything was no. And they didn't understand why my uterus was upside down and why it was, I know I'm not using the right medical terms, but it was, I had a inverted uterus or something like that. My uterus was inside out. It was all messed up. So I've been through 3 major surgeries, and I got to go through another one, that I need to have. As of right now, there's things, this whole situation has really messed me up internally. Maybe it didn't happen to their child. Maybe that's why they didn't speak up or feel like, well, you shouldn't have never said anything. You should have kept it in the family. One thing I want to let people know is I'm not ashamed of what happened to me. I would never be ashamed. I'm not ashamed for the amount of years that it happened. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I will never be ashamed. And so many people have platforms, and they're out there having these big platforms for sometimes no reason. They're not really speaking positive into people's lives, and people are following them. I've never been a follower of the negative. I've always been a positive person, a person that follows only the good. Have I always been good? No, I've not always been that good person, but I knew to follow the good people. But I haven't always, I've not picked fights, but I have ended a few fights. Yes, I have, but I just don't understand why nobody never spoke to us about it. As big as the family is, nobody never said nothing to us, and I don't think that they even said anything to their brother about why or what he did and spoke on his behalf, or or said something. It made me feel just hopeless, that I was not acknowledged, and I could sense that there was some type of animosity, like as this child had done something wrong. And now that they have, grandchildren, and, I would hope that they would be more open-minded and more considerate, more passionate towards, their grandchildren now. That if something happened to them, they know how to speak to them. And that's what I always talk to my mom about. Said they don't know how to come together in life when something happened in life. But let somebody pass away. Let a tragedy happen. Let that happen. Then we want to bring out the paper and the pen, and we want to orchestrate a service. I don't care for that. If you couldn't break out the pen and the paper when I was alive and when I needed you the most, I don't need you planning my funeral. I don't need that. And they probably don't care, but this is not for them. This is for a family out there that can learn from this. And don't have to say, well, I was going through my own thing, or this is about children who was hurt, who was abused by a family member of yours, a close family member of yours. And these children who are now adults, even though we are adults, we don't want to hear about what you were going through. So it's better that you stay silent than you give an excuse as to why you showed no care, concern, or compassion. It's better for me that you remain silent, because I don't need your excuses. Your excuses can't do nothing for me, because I am an adult. And maybe you still don't know how to apologize for not being there, for not showing a little bit more concern and compassion. And I pray for you that you get it. I definitely pray for you. So that's my message for my mom's siblings and my mom. And I've talked to my mom. And just like I'm talking to her siblings now. And I had to, and I probably even was 10 times harder on her, you know. And I just wanted her to learn how to, my mom is still a quiet person, but I want her to learn more how to use her voice. And sometimes people, especially in small towns, and especially in my mom's family, they figure if you speak too much or you talk too much, no, that you talk too much. If you speak too much, or that you do this, that you talk too much. But because I didn't have those tools, because we didn't have those tools to speak up, we got hurt. Kids got hurt. And so, again, I've taught my children to use their voice by any means necessary. And I don't care who, what, when, where, and why did it. Let mama know, you know. And if they're trying to hurt you, you let them know, you know. That's the way I raise my children. A lot of people that come around, especially my daughter. Anybody tell you that know me, that know my daughter, will tell you this girl has been here before. You know, I share a lot of things, especially with my daughter and with my son. My son knows, he's a good listener. But, you know, I really talk to my daughter. And like I said, I've talked to my son, but I talk to my daughter a lot. A lot of things that have affected me as far as when I had my daughter, because of the things that I went through, and the first day I brought my daughter home from the hospital, it took me a good 6 years. My son was 6 years old when I brought my daughter home from the hospital. My son is 13 now. It took a many of years to be around my son with my daughter. I don't want to go into details, but I didn't like my son for a long time. For a long time, because of what a man did to me. I didn't, and it had nothing to do with my daughter. I guess it was his presence around me and my daughter. I didn't like his presence. I didn't like his smell. I didn't like his touch. And that was my dude. That was my dude before my daughter got here. And he still is my dude. But something in me, it clicked for the bad. And it took a long time for me to be comfortable around my son, to be comfortable with his smell and with his touches. I'm totally comfortable today, but it took a long time to one point where I was just, I had to call my sister, and she helped me through my situation that I was having with my son. And she told me that my son was not my abuser, and that he's not going to hurt Leah. And I said, I know he's not going to hurt Leah. I just don't like him around me. And but she tried to convince me that he was okay, and I said I wanted to get better. And it took, after that conversation with my sister, it took, I would say, several more years for me to get comfortable with my son. And excuse me. And one day I just sat with my son. He was playing on the bed or doing something, and I sat with him. He didn't know what I was doing, but I put my hand on his leg, and I wanted to get better. I wanted to get better with his touches. And I put my hand on his leg, and I told myself that I was going to keep my hand there until I was okay with touching him. And as I proceeded to put my hand on his lap, I took it off. And some said, no, you got to put it back on. I took it off again. I put it back on that last time, and I kept it there. And it took everything in my body not to remove my hand from his leg. And I said, don't remove it until you get this out of your system about him. I removed my hand, and I felt the change, so I started practicing that. I started doing it. I started doing it more often. I would just come up and give him hugs, put my hand on him. I wanted to get that back. I didn't want the devil to, or anybody to take my love for him completely away. And every day I just proceeded to just touch him and hold him and hug him. Even if days I didn't want to, I just do it. If he come and lay on me, I used to push him off, and now I just, let him lay on me and just calm, just be calm. But because of what a man did to me, I couldn't, it took some love and some years off of our relationship, but we're back. We're definitely back. But just love your children, watch your children. If you're teenagers, love yourself, and don't let nobody abuse you, hurt you. Whether it's your family, a friend, a boyfriend, you're better than that. You're better than that. So, love yourself. And, yeah. That was, part 2 of my story. Is just letting my family know that, I was disappointed in no response. Even if they sent one person on the behalf of the family, I would have been okay with that, but nobody came. And I just didn't understand it. I did not understand it. If you knew my mom wasn't weak enough, if you knew my mom was weak, or if you knew that she was an alcoholic, where was the other family members? Like, where were they? Where were they? And I don't know. I don't know. So know that I'm here for you all. I'm sorry if I seem sad. I'm not sad. I'm actually tired and I'm working. But I'm not sad. I'm not sad because everything that happened to me was a learning experience. And when I tell you I have children that I love to death, that they know that I love to death, that I have a wonderful relationship with good, humble children, I'll bite the bullet any day for them, just like I did for my younger sisters and brothers. I always protected them in the home. I always made sure that, they weren't being sexually abused. If they were sick, I'm staying at home with them. If they had to stay at home, I would stay at home. I always tried to be there as much as I could. I gave up my childhood for my siblings. And my grandfather coming to get us. That was just our, time to just get away. And, yeah, so I'm sure I've left some things out. If any of you have any questions, if you're having things, like I said, that's going on at school and you need to talk to somebody about, or at home, I believe in, like, you can make it. I believe that you can go to college. I believe you can go to the military. I believe that you can go get a trade. I believe that there's help out there for you. Even if you have a child, don't say my life is over. Even if you live in the projects, the hood, the ghetto, your life is not over. You're going to be an adult someday. You're not going to always be young and under your mom's wing or under your family members' wings. Excuse me. You're going to be an adult. And it took me a long time. Excuse me. It seemed like to grow up. It did. And I'm still, still growing at 41. But, I just want to be this platform. I want to give advice to teenagers. I want to be that loving person that they can always call on. And if you can't call on me, if I can't figure it out, if I can't talk to you, I'll make sure I get somebody who can. I want to start this new YouTube channel for not just, like I said, girls, but also boys. A lot of these teenagers are following these rappers, and let me tell you the stories, when you begin to hear my stories about going hungry, about, not having the utilities on and turned off, and, not having a car. As I was growing up, we didn't have a car, and just growing up in poverty and all types of stuff and every type of abuse, But I continue to love my mom. You only get one mom. And even though my dad is, even to this day, still in prison, I continue to I love him. I can't do much for him, but I love him. Because they brought me here. And, I'm not mad at any of my family members. I want what they couldn't do for me. I want the support that they can give me, that if this should ever come up again, or when their grandchildren get to a certain age, that they will be there for their grandchildren. That's all I tell my mom. I said, the times that you lost with me, you can make it up by spending time with your grandchildren. You have a second chance of being a mom to children, and that makes the world a difference to me. So if you have any questions, or if there's any topics that you want me to speak on, feel free to hit me up. And I want to at least start coming on, at least, I don't know, once or twice a week. If I get, like, people who actually are interested, teenagers. I want teenagers to flock to my page. I got so much to talk about with you guys. I'm so excited, and I see all of you just going on to college, going on to the military, going on to get a trade, going on to have better lives than your parents had, because that's what I want for my children. I want my children to have a better life than me. And you guys are still teenagers. You're still young. I want you to have better life than I'm having, I want you to have that life, but I want you to stay focused in school. I know it's chaotic around you. I know people don't understand you. I know you're going through depression. I know these things, but keep pushing. You are somebody. You are worthy. You are just going to be great. You're going to be great. You're going to be successful. You're going to be okay. Trust me. You have to keep pushing. Don't give up. Don't give in. Don't let peer pressure get the best of you. So, God bless you all. And I hope to hear from you all, soon. And You don't have to apologize to me what happened to me. What happened to me was supposed to happen to me. You know, it was supposed to happen to me. And I'm okay. I am okay because of the love of Christ. I'm a Christian. And God has kept me. And this platform was meant to be, it's going to be a positive one. It's going to be a good one. It's going to make you think before you react. And if there's some of you out there that's about to do something dumb or about to do something that's stupid or get you here or put you there in a negative space, then contact me. Contact me and we can talk about it. We can find other ways. We can go through other measures to get what you need, to get what you have a desire for. But here is only positive vibes only. So this is where you come to just let me see what Jackie would say. You know, let me think before I react. Let me figure out how to solve this situation rather than escalating it. All right, so I'll be in touch. Like I said, I'm sure I left like a million things I want to talk about out, but I definitely will be in touch. God bless.